Everyone thought I was gone for good. My phone was dead, my socials were ghosted, and the rumor mill was running wild. He told everyone I'd walked out, broken, like he'd won. Little did he know, I wasn't gone. I was planning the kind of comeback that would make him wish he'd never smiled at me in the cafeteria. It started in college. He was that guy, slick, funny, everyone's favorite, sliding into conversations like he owned the place. I bought it at first, laughed at his jokes, let him think I was wrapped around his finger. But charm can be heavy when it drips into control, and soon he wasn't just cute and fun. He was everywhere, every moment, breathing down my day like it was his property. I should have bounced then. Instead, I stayed, curious to see how far he'd push it. Texts came first, 20 messages in an hour if I didn't reply fast enough. Little digs when I posted a photo. Who's that? Why you laughing? He masked it as care in front of his friends, control in private. I joked with my girls, made memes in my head, but inside I was starting to see the trap. And that's when I realized I owed him nothing, not even a second of panic. Then came the fight. Brutal, screaming, raw, but no dramatic doors slammed, just words spilling out like fire. I told him to quit gaslighting me. He laughed, called me dramatic. I left. No warning, no calls, just walked out and disappeared for 6 days. Everyone thought I'd cracked, that he'd finally won. But in reality, I was collecting ammo for the storm. Day 1 was quiet. Motel room, cheap coffee, and a notebook full of receipts. Screenshots, messages, tiny secrets he thought no one knew. I cried, sure, but then I wiped my face and got to work. He had no idea the girl he thought broken was plotting a demolition. And the thing about planning revenge? It's addicting. A screenshot of him trashing a girl circulated in a group chat, and I watched from a distance as his face went pale. He fumbled over his phone, typing replies that couldn't undo the damage. His perfect little world started cracking, piece by piece. I blended in during the afternoon, walking past classrooms, pretending everything was normal, while his frantic texts kept pinging. Some were angry, some begging. That night, I slipped into the library, quiet as a shadow, and watched him laugh with his usual crowd. He had no clue I'd set little traps all day, DMs, screenshots, subtle nudges that would explode at the perfect time. He thought he was untouchable. I thought differently. The following morning, the first real blow hit, all desperate. I let them pile up. Each one made him smaller, and every second of my silence poured salt into the wound. That evening, he cornered me near the cafe, voice low, eyes darting like a trapped animal. "Let's talk," he said. I didn't answer. He stumbled over words, tried to twist reality, but I held the upper hand. Every glance I threw reminded him the game had flipped. Late that night, I checked my notes, double-checking evidence and making sure each domino was lined up. I laughed quietly, thinking about how close he had come to catching me, how near I'd blown it. Fear tasted sweet, but control? That was intoxicating. Day 4, near misses escalated. A friend almost spotted me while I was sending a DM. I froze behind a newspaper, heart thumping. He sat 2 tables away, oblivious. Keeping my cool on the surface while chaos brewed beneath became my secret weapon. By day 5, whispers started to snowball. His friends were asking questions, connecting dots, noticing cracks in his perfect mask. He called, tried to charm his way out. I ignored him. Watching him scramble, thinking he still had control, it never got old. He tried to act like nothing had happened, but his shaky posture, quick glances, and quiet panic spoke volumes. The laughter that used to follow him had turned into whispers, and I loved every second of it. That night, I reviewed everything one last time, watching him squirm from a safe distance. The girl he'd wronged before, the teacher I'd tipped off, the reporter, all had what they needed to finish the job. The girl he'd wronged before, the teacher I'd tipped off, the reporter, all had what they needed to finish the job. His little kingdom was collapsing, and I didn't even have to lift a finger. I began to notice his friends avoiding him. Their faces changed, subtle smirks and sideways glances hinting they knew. The people who used to orbit him like satellites were slowly drifting away. Each step back from them made him smaller, weaker. Every whisper was a knife, every glance a reminder. Day 7. I stayed low, just blending in with campus life. But everywhere I went, I felt the tension I'd created. He checked over his shoulder constantly, his confidence crumbling under the weight of rumors and evidence. I smiled inside. He was unraveling exactly how I planned. By day 8, his panic was palpable. He started calling people I'd already convinced to stay quiet, begging for help, and getting nothing in return. The silence hit harder than any confrontation. He realized too late that he had no allies left. Day 9, he finally tried to confront me in front of a group, hoping to shame me back into submission. I stayed calm, icy, letting the room notice his desperation. The very people he relied on started whispering, laughing quietly at him. I didn't have to say a word. My presence did all the talking. Day 10, finale. I released the final piece of proof to select people. A video, a message, a few clever drops of evidence. He watched as the last threads of control slipped through his fingers. Panic, anger, confusion. And me? I just smiled. Silent, untouchable, victorious. Everyone thought I was gone for good. They were wrong. I was gone to learn. I came back to expose. And what I did after those 6 days? That's the part that made him regret every breath he wasted trying to control me. But that, my friends, is for another story. Listen up, ladies. First thing I learned, you don't owe anyone your time or energy. If someone is draining you, controlling you, or playing games, walk. Don't think twice. I didn't. And the thing I realized next, well, it blew my mind. Never underestimate the power of silence. Walking away without explanation gives you the upper hand. People notice absence way more than presence. And what happens when they start questioning themselves? That's where the magic kicks in. Collect your proof, your receipts, your facts. Not for revenge alone, but to protect yourself. I wish I'd done it earlier. The next tip changed the entire game for me, and it could do the same for you. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it's not paranoia, it's instinct. I ignored red flags at first, and it almost cost me. But learning to listen to that inner voice, that's where real power comes from. And here's the crazy part about instincts. Plan your moves like a chess game. Don't react blindly. I didn't just vanish for 6 days on a whim. I had a strategy. And when you plan carefully, even the smallest action can topple the biggest arrogance. But the most shocking part? Don't let fear freeze you. There were moments I almost ran back. Wait until you hear about the near betrayal that almost ruined everything. Confidence isn't fake. It's built from surviving the lows, the anxiety, the doubts. Every text ignored, every close call survived, built me into someone untouchable. And the weirdest thing? Confidence can be felt by everyone around you. Take control of your narrative. Don't let anyone gaslight you. I told my story quietly but clearly, and that was enough to flip the entire campus. How you tell your story is more important than the story itself. And here's the next trick. Learn patience. Revenge, or even just justice, doesn't happen overnight. 6 days of planning might sound long, but it was nothing compared to what I gained. And the lesson from patience? It will blow your mind. Stay calm under pressure. He almost caught me, almost ruined me. But keeping your head cool changes everything. Panic is your enemy. Calm is your superpower. And the next level of calm? It's something most people never see coming. Forgive yourself for mistakes. I stayed too long, ignored red flags, trusted too easily. But forgiving yourself gives you clarity and strength to rise higher. And the weird part about self-forgiveness is, celebrate the small wins. Every text ignored, every tiny proof collected, it counts. Don't wait for the big moment to feel victorious. And when you start celebrating small wins, the next move becomes obvious. Finally, remember, your freedom is your ultimate revenge. You don't need to humiliate anyone or burn them publicly. Surviving, thriving, walking tall, that's the kind of power that leaves a mark. And what happens after that power is fully unleashed? Day 2, I started moving like a ghost. Scouting, whispering, slipping little truths to people he trusted blindly. A DM here, a screenshot there. My pulse spiked when I saw him at a bar, flirting, acting untouchable. I froze for a second, heart thumping. Then I smiled. Not out of happiness, but because I knew exactly what was coming. Day 4, stakes went up. He almost caught a hint of what I'd been doing. A DM slipped from a friend's phone to mine, almost revealed. My hands shook. I wanted to run, scream, call it off, but I stayed. The risk made it sweeter. Every step forward felt like walking a tightrope over fire, and I loved it. Day 5. Whispers became a storm. His friends were asking questions, connecting dots, seeing cracks in his perfect mask. He called me, tried to charm his way out. I didn't answer. I let him flail. Watching him scramble, thinking he was still in control, it never gets old. Day 6, finale. Evidence leaked carefully, selectively. A teacher, a reporter, a girl he'd wronged before, all got proof. He thought he was untouchable, king of his little kingdom. The first video hit his phone at noon. He laughed at it, thinking it private. By evening, the world knew. His reputation crumbled. Friends turned away. Internships ghosted him. He tried to charm, beg, explain. Nothing worked. Even after the storm passed, I kept asking myself, what did I learn the hard way? Life doesn't hand you power, you take it. Every scar, every sleepless night, every near miss became my fuel. And the truth about taking your power back? It's harder than you think. Never let anyone rewrite your story. People will try to gaslight, manipulate, or shame you. But when you hold the pen, they have no control. I realized how freeing it was to be in charge. And the moment I fully embraced it, everything changed. Fear will always knock at your door. The trick is answering it with action. I faced panic, betrayal, and doubt head-on and survived stronger. And the next time fear came knocking, I didn't just survive, I thrived. Your voice matters. Even when you whisper, people hear it. Speaking your truth strategically can shift entire dynamics. I discovered that every word I carefully placed was a weapon. And the first reaction to my voice? Pure chaos. Trust takes time. And trust yourself even faster. I learned to trust my gut before anyone else. That instinct saved me more than once. And the moment I acted purely on instinct, that's when the tables fully turned. Resilience isn't built in comfort. It's forged in sleepless nights, tense moments, and moments you feel like quitting. I wouldn't trade my 6 days for anything. And the lesson from resilience that sticks with me, it's mind-blowing. Finally, know this. You can rise after anyone tries to break you. Revenge isn't about them. It's about proving to yourself that you are unshakable. And the part most people miss about rising, the real victory is still ahead.
After everything came out, he tried acting innocent like he wasn't the same guy who locked me up for 6 days. But people weren't stupid. Rumors spread faster than he could lie. His friends backed away, pretending they never knew him. Watching his little kingdom crumble was almost poetic. And the first consequence he faced, it hit harder than he ever expected. Campus security pulled him in next. He swore I was framing him, but the panic in his voice exposed him instantly. His fake confidence cracked, and everyone saw who he really was. Seeing him escorted out of the building made the whole campus go silent. But that was only the beginning of his downfall. His family got involved, and let's just say they weren't proud. Suddenly he wasn't the perfect son anymore. It was the embarrassment they tried to hide. They dragged him through lectures, punishments, and shame. But the moment he realized he was officially on his own, that's when everything really collapsed.
People he used to bully started stepping up. Turns out I wasn't his only victim, just never thought anyone would talk. Now every voice he silenced came back louder, and one confession in particular, it destroyed whatever reputation he had left. He couldn't walk through campus without hearing whispers. Eyes followed him like he was a criminal, and honestly, that's exactly what he felt like. His confidence shattered, grades dropped, and his social life evaporated. Eventually, he transferred school secretly, trying to escape the mess he created. But the internet never forgets, and people carried the story with them. No friend group, no girlfriend, no respect, nothing. He finally experienced what real consequences feel like. And the karma waiting for him after he left, that's a whole other chapter. He tried to act confident again, but that fake charm didn't work anymore. People watched him like he was radioactive, backing away whenever he tried to socialize. He hated the silence more than the whispers. Nobody feared him now, they just avoided him, like he wasn't worth knowing. And the moment he snapped under the pressure, it didn't go unnoticed. He picked fights in dorm hallways, yelling, screaming, trying to feel in control again. But this time, everyone recorded him. Clips spread online, adding fuel to the fire he started months before. Suddenly he wasn't just a toxic egg, was a public meltdown. And the video that went viral next, it sealed his fate. His professors pulled him aside, warning him that one more outburst meant suspension. He nodded, pretending to listen, but inside he was spiraling. He couldn't focus, couldn't sleep, couldn't think straight. Every room felt like it was closing in. And the panic attack that hit him in the library, nobody rushed to help. He had net 6 nights in a row seeing me, the basement, the lies. Karma wasn't subtle with him. It visited him every time he closed his eyes. He woke up shaking, drenched in sweat, terrified someone would expose something new. He finally knew what fear tasted like. And when he checked his phone the next morning, it only got worse. Another victim came forward. Someone he thought would stay quiet forever. Her story matched mine almost perfectly, only with darker details. People were furious, they wanted answers, justice, closure. And the school's response? It pushed him toward the edge. They launched a disciplinary investigation, strict, cold, and fast. He tried blaming her, then me, then everyone out to get him, but nobody bought it. His lies sounded rehearsed and sloppy. The school suspended him temporarily, and the email he received during that suspension, it wrecked him. He was officially expelled, not suspended, not warned, expelled. No appeals, no second chances, no grace. His academic record was permanently marked, and the letter informing him of the expulsion, it had one line that shattered him completely. He realized he wasn't feared anymore. He wasn't admired anymore. He wasn't the guy anymore. He was just a cautionary tale people whispered about. And the next chapter of his life, it was nothing like the one he imagined. 5 years passed, and the world kept spinning, but the shadows of that story didn't fade. He just changed shape. Selena moved on, built a life that didn't revolve around surviving him, but around becoming someone he could never touch again. Her healing wasn't perfect or pretty, but it was real. And the moment she looked back at her old scars, she realized something shocking. She wasn't scared anymore. Not of him, not of memories, not of what happened in that basement. She had rebuilt her confidence piece by piece, day by day. She learned to laugh again, trust again, breathe again. But what happened to him during those same 5 years? That's where things get wild. He bounced from job to job, each one shorter than the last. Some employers Googled him, others just didn't like the attitude he never fixed. His reputation followed him like a ghost he couldn't outrun. He tried reinventing himself, switching cities, deleting old accounts. A former classmate saw him on a job site and recorded him. Not mocking, just documenting how karma ages a person. The clip went viral in hours, captioned, "Remember this dude?" He hated how fast old stories resurfaced, how quickly people remembered. And the comment section? That's where the real damage hit. Someone asked if he ever apologized. He hadn't. Someone else asked if he ever changed. He hadn't. And when they tagged Selena, that's when everything aligned.